Hello and welcome to another episode of Trailmakers. My audio should be good now, I think I fixed it, I hope so. And today we will be making an episode about how to build the good looking planes. Now this is not any special looking plane, it's just typical. But this is my first plane and I've shown it as an example of overall the basics of building a plane. So for basic steering you have pitch, which makes you go up or down, to put your nose up and down. That's the tail. You've got roll on your wings, which is used to turn. Maybe I'll just show it in the air. You can have disconnecting landing gear, although nowadays I prefer just hiding it. But here you can see roll. You can see pitch. There's also yaw. Although this one is not very effective in this game, is the tail. But it doesn't really work too good in the game. But those are the overall controls. Now you also have to make this the center of mass and the center of lift as close to the actual middle as possible. Though it won't be perfect, of course. It will naturally pitch down or up. But the best ideal thing is when it slightly pitches up. To balance it out, you can either add more wings, remove wings, or add and remove weight. Because you want the back and the front to be as similar in weight as possible. Also, this has to be symmetrical if you don't want it to naturally turn, which is not a good thing. But that's the plane. So, today I'm gonna show how to build good looking planes and the basics of that. And I will do that by building an F-16 Falcon, the jet fighter, and trying to make it look as good as possible. So the first thing I usually do is search up some examples of the planes, if I'm doing a realistic one. For example, I looked up an F-16, and now I can get to building with it. So of course, gotta delete this, because this is not it. So I usually start with a cockpit, because that's the best seat for planes. And an F-16 I will probably put an image. It has a cone on the nose and a bit of space between the pilot and the cone. So I start off by taking a cone and just putting it here. And this is the front. I would usually now build the chassis of the plane, the whole line. Yeah, it's up for adjustments, of course. Nothing is final. And maybe give it some more width. And okay. Now you also have to remember to add engines. It's something I forgot with the F-22. And then I had remembered and had to somehow fit some engines in the middle of the plane. But I managed to do it. So you can put some engines here. Okay, this will need to be longer then. Yep. Okay, so now let's get to building the wings. I usually start off by making the overall outline of the wing when I'm making planes that aren't just wings, that have a look to them. So as I wings start a bit in the back, so we can do it like this. And they're sort of a diagonal shape. Okay, seems good enough. Now we have to add some of the width to the wing. I always start just by doing one of the wings, because I can just copy the whole thing. Okay, sorry for that intermission, I had a phone. So, back to it. We have one wing. Now, also this is a wedge, so for aerodynamics we can just add some wedges. It will both make it look better and perform better. Okay. Now that we have the wing, we need to add actual wing pieces that will allow this thing to fly. So I usually just try to fit in some of those wings to add actual wing. surfaces, because the game does not see this part of blocks as wings, so those would do nothing. Okay, but also what we need is some steering. But so with the steering, you want to use, I usually use hinges because they seem the most comfortable for the situation. As a hinge, and in the wings we have roll. Now something that is very important to keep in mind is that your wing that is being moved around does not attach to any other part. If you need to fill up parts like this, then you can use, for example, some aerodynamic pieces that don't have connections, like for example this or this, because that does not connect. But if it connected to the wing, then it would either not move or some other weird stuff sometimes happens with those, so you just want to avoid that. Okay, but I think that means the wing is complete. And now I just take the wing, maybe add a slight curve to the back, so it's not just straight. Gotta make it look as good as possible. Okay, so now we copy this and paste on the other side. Now for the steering, you probably want this as a D. That's how I do, it's the most comfortable. And look how the wings go right now. This is me pressing D, and this is me pressing A. In theory, that should actually work for your roll, because the left wing will be pushed down by the air, and the right wing will be pushed up, meaning that you will start rolling to the left. So that's good. Also, you might want to adjust them a little bit. The 30 degrees can be a bit aggressive. But now we need to get to the tail, and as you can see, the plane does need to get longer. So we just add some length to this. Okay. Okay, now maybe first we should start with the tail fins. Okay, so I think that for the tail fins, the best use will be maybe a rotating servo, like this. Okay, and here, with some actual tail fins. Simple tail fin should do. Those also can't attach to any other blocks, because that would cause problems. And I usually do those as SW. I never remember how they should have to be set, so I just test. Okay, so W is to go down, and I mean, no, this is reverse. To go this right now would make you go down, because the tail wants to go up while the front goes down, and this would make you go up because the tail starts going down. Now those controls are opposite from what I usually do right now, so gotta change that. S is to pitch up and W is to pitch down, because that's how it should be. Okay, but now that we have this done, I will have to rotate these engines, so we will need some top connections. Also, this is very aggressive on the angle, maybe like 20 degrees. Yep, you can also try it. Well, I'm an idiot, I put the engines backwards, and this needs to be like this, right? No. What did I mess up? Let's see if it flies. It won't fly well yet, because it lacks a very important part, but let's see if you can take off. Yes, many of my flying creations, it needs to get actually off, but yes, the controls are right, the roll is right, but you can't really fly it. So the dimensions are a little bit off. I think bigger tail fins will do better. Because this is a bit too small. Also, what we don't have, and I usually actually don't add on those, we don't have the vertical stabilizer. That's why the plane was going all wiggly to the sides. With this it should be better. So let's try and take off. And here we go. We can fly. The pitch is still a bit sensitive, a bit very sensitive, while the roll is not. But it's good. So I do think that the wing might be a bit too big. Not because of practical stuff, but because of the looks. And now I just have to move it. I think I can try to just move it in. Nope. Okay, I think this looks better. So one thing we might do, I forgot about the front. I think this needs to be a bit longer. And could use some wedges too. Wedges are important because they give you aerodynamics. Which is okay. And they make it look better. So let's try flying this. Also something I like to do is I usually set the engines on toggle. Okay, I also decreased the pitch angle a bit. And look how nice it is to fly already. Now, as you can see, it's very much back heavy by the fact that it just naturally pitches up. So, to change that, we can either add more lift in the back or reduce it in the front or add more weight. I usually like to just maybe try to remove those two. This might, wait, no, it's back heavy, so too much in the front. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I'm too used to having... Whoops. I'm too used to having my thrust on toggle. I really have to set that back up. Okay, let's see how this flies. Oh, that's actually pretty straight. It often takes a lot of work to find out how your center of mass is. Luckily soon we will have the airborne update, and that will give us in build mode indicators for that, and I can't wait. But this actually really flies well. Now something that might make it worse that I'm gonna do, but I have to do it for the looks. And that is adding some armor plates to make it look cleaner. Okay, armor shields actually. Now you have to watch out with putting shields on the moving wing so that it only attaches to the wing, because as I said before, you don't want any movement, any part of your creation attaching there, because then it just causes problems. Okay, we have the shields mostly. So in this step you just try to cover as much as you can, just don't put them over the wedges because then they stick out and it doesn't look good. If you can't put one somewhere, then don't worry, it's just decoration. That will actually mess up your flight, so this means that there's more fixing to do now. So let's see how it flies now. Oh, and I forgot. Gotta put those on toggle, just for comfort. Okay, oh, I missed one of the things here. That's fine, I'll fix that in a moment. And it's not capable of starting this fast. Then, because remember, I just added a whole lot of weight. So this might not even be a fast plane. Okay, and let's see. It's not even capable of flight. Well, that means we need more thrusters. So I'm gonna remove some shields. Can I fit another one? Yes. This is the stage at which I do all the testing, and that takes me sometimes even hours. Let's see if this will be enough. Nope. Well, we may try some things, like maybe we'll add the wings in the front back. That might help. Like here. Add some wings. Yeah. That's the most time-consuming part of the whole process. I also don't know why this is asymmetrical, but it is. Okay, crisis fixed. Let's see if this flies now. If it still doesn't fly, I'm afraid we'll have to remove some shields. That's usually how I do. Start removing them till it flies again. Nope, no fly. Oh, I usually start removing from the back. Now this barely flies, but as you can see it's still nose heavy. So now I will remove some of the shields off the nose. At the same time trying to start balancing out the thing so that it flies straight. Right now it can't fly at all. Maybe a little bit, but barely. Okay, I think we've got it. I did some modifications, removed some of the shields, added some wings there. I don't really like doing that, but it was necessary for this thing to fly. Sometimes it does do very sharp pitch for whatever reason, and sometimes it doesn't. What I think I can also change in this is the speed of the roll. How I would do that is by just adjusting the steering hinges. Sorry. You do a bigger angle, like maybe 25 degrees. And let's see how this flies now. I also added the second engine. In one place I added 2 engines to give it more force. Yeah, and it seems to be working now. So that's good. And how is the roll? Better? Yeah, slightly better. Anyway, so now that we have the plane and it is mostly functional. It's not perfect, but it's something, I guess. It looks pretty good. Now we just have to land. I mean, we don't have to, but I wanna try, and we can't. So let's just respawn. Now I usually take this and paint it. Yeah, maybe something like this. Nah, I think I prefer it darker. Yes. And something we can get is some decals too, but I don't know if I want to add any special decals to this, because I don't think I have any that would fit. So here you have it. This is an F-16. Now all is left is to save it. You could add guns. That is an option. I just don't feel like it. This is an F-16 Falcon. I will upload this to the workshop, so if you wanna fly this, then go ahead. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Bye!